Overwatch 2 is a game that's going to fail. You've heard this millions of times by now, I'm sure, but I want to give my real reasons as to why it is. And no, it's not just because of the hyper-aggressive monetization, it's actually because of... For this segment, I'll be talking about gameplay unique to Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2's gameplay is vastly inferior to Overwatch 1. All these maps got yeeted, a whole mode basically got yeeted, but we got push. I've spent around 30 hours on competitive Overwatch since its October 4th release. With multiple people, nearly every time a map loading screen comes up and it's push, everybody in the call sighs. I'm not even kidding. I met a few people in competitive Overwatch. I invited them to the group because we kinda did really well. When a push map loaded, all these random strangers audibly sighed, and one even said, "I wish I could Alt F4. This mode absolutely sucks, and on top of that, the map design and map aesthetics suck as well. Yes, capture had its issues, but a lot of the maps were fun. Like, look at Hanamura and Numbani. Push maps are absolutely trash compared to them. Most of the time you're waiting for the enemy team to come around a corner or bend to attack them. At least with payload maps you can jump on them basically wherever they are. With push maps you're always waiting until they're too far, and then basically everybody rushes in 1v5 to delay the loss, which makes it even worse. Moving on to 5v5. What the actual hell were they going for here? I'm a tank main, and don't get me wrong, 5v5 is great for me. I'm always top killer, with top damage absorption, but this is completely wrong. Yes, it's fun for me to charge into a group of people, hammer them to death with a Moira pocketing me, but the whole point of a tank is to tank, not to be the top killer and top DPS. But you see, the problem here is the DPS literally cannot DPS, because every game has a Moira who absolutely destroys and towers over most damage heroes. The top support pick is Moira. She's in every single game. She can heal herself and do an unfair amount of damage compared to other supports. And even worse, she can literally just dip out of somewhere if it gets too sticky. 9 out of 10 times, it's left to the tank, me, usually Reinhardt, Orisa or Winston, to deal with her. The top DPS pick currently, from what I've played, is Bastion. Can we talk about how lazy this rework was? They basically just put a timer on his minigun and gave him a default grenade. But even as lazy as these reworks are, good luck beating an Orisa or Reinhardt without a Bastion on your team. Orisa basically has 2 invincibility abilities, and her damage is enough to tranquilize a 500-pound gorilla. Literally. I've seen Bastion literally maul through a Rhine shield and pick off 1 to 2 people. And as this 5v5 change is really punishing to even 1 death, this allows your team to be steamrolled in seconds. I remember back in Overwatch 1 how King's Row's fights would take absolutely ages to finish. In Overwatch 2, as soon as your tank dies, you completely lose the game. All these changes have basically just made Overwatch a battle of tanks, leading to one team almost always getting steamrolled and losing every single time. Another map change in Overwatch 2 is making some of the maps night and some day. Don't know if I'm the only one here, but the new times on Overwatch maps are so bad. They look awful. Route 66 used to look like a hot desert, instantly recognizable by how bright, sunny and burnt it looked. Now put it into nighttime and you can't even make out most of the details on the map. It just looks awful. It's not even a good update. Route 66 was made for daytime, it's got no lighting whatsoever now, whereas King's Row was meant for nighttime, it's got lights everywhere. Now that dreary, rainy British aesthetic is dead, it just looks like a generic map. These locations are based off of real places. When you take away what makes them so unique and appealing, they just turn into another map on Overwatch. I personally used to love the fact Overwatch made maps realistic to stereotypes of country. Want a good example of this? Take the only new good map, Brazil. It's bright, sunny, colourful, just like how Brazil is imagined to be. Now imagine drench it in darkness with no lights. Oh, look at that. It's awful. Maybe they just wanted to look busy making these changes, but from my point of view, these were awful updates to maps I used to like. Now, this isn't a really serious problem. Personally, it makes me not want to play the game when every single map is either ruined or just unplayable in general. Bugs galore. You see, in Overwatch 1, we had multiple heroes. In Overwatch 2, we have none. Go fuck yourself. They're all in the workshop, come back next year. You want to play Mei? Too bad. Torbjorn, Bastion, nope, gone. Actually though, we do have one hero, Wrecking Ball. You know, the hamster. Anybody remember this guy? No? Nobody played him recently? Like, damn, were any of these heroes actually playtested? It's been a month and we've already been locked out of 3 heroes. Mei wasn't even playable. Her walls didn't work. You couldn't even walk on her walls. This would have been such an easy bug to find. As soon as you play Mei and put a wall up, you go through it or you'll fall through it. It's every time. It's not even like a rare bug. How did Blizzard not see this? I'm 100% convinced there have been no playtests for this game. And for the final reason, hyper-aggressive monetization.